The Runick train does not stop. We're here for the Stay Weird Gaming Regional Breakdown. Make sure you guys smash the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Stay Weird Gaming Regional Breakdown. Do I need to tell you? Sprite and Tear. On that gridlock, baby! It's been the story of our format here. The cool thing with this regional breakdown, though, was actually the challenger that stepped into the room here. Now, we've been talking about Runick doing Runick things for a little while now, but now that it's actually taken off, it's been a menace, actually, to a lot of the community. When you can add your flavor of Mystic Mine into a deck that basically its life purpose is to mill out the opponent. All right, like, you're honestly just a vacuum of creating, like, this infinite game cycle. Well, it's not really infinite. You just mill your opponent out. You know, we joke about Runick being one of the more powerful decks in the game, but it's kind of starting to live up to its hype here, where, you hide behind Mystic Mine, you hide behind some sort of degenerate, mill out engine, sure. But the thing here is what you're doing with this deck is you're facilitating this engine that stops the opponent from being able to play the game, all right? When you start milling out your opponent's resources, you could potentially hit a one-of that is vital to their combo, which is something that will win you a game. Trust me when I say this, random RNG is a heck of a thing, all right? You can be rewarded for it and you can be punished for it. The more you mill off your opponent, the quicker they can get to a lightning storm. It's all about variance. And then we also had one Exosister deck in this top cut as well. Now, to see that Exosister barely squeaked in at 8th place, I am happy to see that Exosister did get the chance to shine here. But it is so rough out here to kind of see how, the format and things can shape up overall. So, not a terrible regional breakdown. Let's pass on over to top deck list. All right, the first deck list we're going to be looking at here is Jack's second place finish with Runick. Now, this is a little bit different than what I've seen from a lot of Runick lists, where we're actually building the Inspector border, and we're actually playing the Majesty's Fiend here as well. Now, out of Chile, we did see Majesty's Fiend rear its ugly head into a lot of the metagame choices because, deploying this, yeah, it's a tribute monster. I understand that a lot of players are going to look at this and go, oh, Robbie, like, why do I want to... It's because all of your spell cards all have that inclusion effect to special summon, all right? Like, you have to remember that. All of these pretty much put bodies on the field in the form of, okay, tribute fodder for the big guy. Now, you just got to make the decision when you're looking at this, do I want to play, 2 or 3 of this? Do I get more value out of the Inspector border, per se, than this? And, well, the answer, it looks like this Duelist found, was a 2-2 split actually ended up working out. We also had the triple Ghost Reaper in the main deck as well. We got the Lubellion, you got the Kitagalos, the Mikhails, the Elimbertian, the Kagari, the Elf, and the Dryas were all targets. So you're on 7 targets for this, which is actually kind of interesting overall. I'll give it to them. I like the idea of having the Ghost Reaper in here as a card to punish the opponent. Now, we're also playing Dimensional Fissure. You really can't play Macrocosmo in this deck. As much as I want to be like, yeah, Macrocosmos is a good card, you need these spell cards to go to the graveyard. All right. I know a lot of people originally were looking at trying to play macro on this. I can't believe some of the opinions I read on the internet. But honestly, having Dimensional Fissure up as a floodgate is fine. You also are one of the few decks that don't really give a crap about overcommitting too much. Obviously, most of the times you'll have something in the extra monster zone, and then probably a Majesty's Fiend up and running. So there can only be one, should not be hurting you. I also like the fact on the sub backburner, you also have Rivalry of Warlords here to slow down the opponent. You have a lot of cool ways to slow down your opponent right now that should put you in a very good game-winning position. And I think it's the thing I like about this particular Runick list is a lot of the option trees are pretty figured out for what you want to go with. So I'll clap for this. This is really awesome. Next up here is a interesting take for this deck, man. So what I was told here was the reason why I did good this event was because I was playing the Ultimate Dark Law. The Ultimate Dark Law ended up carrying me through a majority of my events, and it felt really good. Well, you are on some of the cheesier interactions here. Now, keep in mind, we're not doing the Hero Lives shenanigans. There were some very early OCG lists that were playing the Hero Lives package to facilitate access to the Mass Change 2, because you do the Shadow Mist and then step on into Dark Law. Well, congratulations. You see a Mass Change 2 with a tier monster, you're pretty much going to be winning the game relatively hard. This card just encompasses so much, I would say, crazy advantage that, like, your opponent's not going to really know what to do. So, trust me, cutting off your opponent's graveyard is one of the easiest things that you can do. Also, see, we're playing the Skullmark Ladybug for time. For everybody that keeps asking, you curious dump this during time, because then you get 1,000 life points, all right? Like, that's your whole interaction. So, you now have your answer. We're also playing Yield Fusion Sub to regenerate. Honestly, outside of that, I really like what the rest of this deck kind of brings to the table. It feels very, very, very powerful at the end of the day. So, not too gosh darn bad. All right, we get to flip the conversation here to another. This is some basic stuff. We're actually playing Cowboy down here. So we're not playing the Skullmark Ladybug, first of all. We've chosen to play the Gaga Cowboy. I guess technically, if you have access to 2 level 4s, you should be good to go. I just kind of feel like having the Skullmark Ladybug feels a lot better than the Cowboy. You also have the Ghost Reapers in here to mess up your opponent. You already know, you have enough resource management to do it. Of course, still doing the Danger Package. No Bigfoot, by the way. I guess don't really need it. We're also playing the Destrudo in here as well. I kind of like the inclusion of that. And then, of course, Dynamiscus. Dynamiscus has definitely stepped its game up right now. Like, I will say from a majority of this format that this just feels a whole lot better as a nice little access tool for this deck. No Galaxy Cyclone, by the way. Poor card. Next up is Tintin's Tri-Brigade Sprite deck. Now, Tintin barely made it into Top Cut. 7th place. What was it? 511? 411, whatever. This regional was relatively sized, but we are doing the Tri-Brigade combo in here. Tintin, after the event, was telling me, was like, I love Tri-Brigade to death. It is so fun, but the problem is so much of the meta is geared so much to kind of stop this deck from doing its thing. Now, the reason why you play the package with this is because of Kit here. Kit gives you access to make the Bear Broom, which Bear Broom in turn gives you access to Revolt. Do not underestimate what having a Revolt does, because once you pass your turn, you know, after you've done like Sprite combo here, you're free from the restrictions, so you're able to Revolt out, you know, Shirok, and then tear the opponent up. The only other real big thing is, you know, once you're locked behind, you know, like your Link 2s and stuff, yeah, it sucks that you can't climb up to the higher things, but like, you still have double Dragon Lords, you still have stuff like this. My only other like big problem with this particular build is, in terms of the meta being like devastatingly hard for this deck to handle, you really do lose to the droplets, the Ultimate Slayers, the Dark Ruler No Mores. The pressure that those particular cards can put on this deck is relatively crazy. But nonetheless, congratulations to Tintin out here for making top 8. And the last we have for you guys here is Exo Sister. Now, particulars on this list. No Mystic Mine in the main deck. Good stuff. All right. We're also on double Returnia, the double Vadis. Okay. Got the triple packs with the 1 armament. That's fine. We are not playing the one that gives you the ability to blank out cards. We're actually main decking double Droll and Lockbird. That's nice. Your hand traps, I mean, you're pretty hand trapped out of your mind. You got what, 5, 8, 10, 13, 16 hand traps, and you're siding additionals down here. I think the other interesting thing is we're just not even maining the Dimension Shifter. Like, so many people look at this deck and they're so gung-ho about having to have that Dimension Shifter in the main deck. No, it looks like a lot of players have, you know, just skipped out on having access to the Dimension Shifter. Even though I still think you should probably be main decking this, I guess I just found a lot more success with all of the other hand traps here, because they can kind of fill the void for what you need. But once again, do not underestimate the value that you're really getting out of this particular, good card down here. So that's all I got for this regional breakdown. Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.